Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Four Lads Rangers Monday Night Live, which is bound to be a positive one. Not as positive as Amrit yesterday, feathers and all, but a positive one nevertheless. Kenny, good evening, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad at all. We were just talking, Davie and I, before you turned up, and we mentioned Amrit, and we said we'll see how long it takes to get it mentioned. So, looking forward to this tonight, mate.
Yeah, it was a very amusing moment. Davie was in the gantry. He's seen it live and kicking. Davie, how are you?
I'm absolutely fine now that I've stopped spitting feathers out from Amrit's adventures yesterday. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Feeling not as positive as him, but it's pretty positive for me, I must admit.
Yeah, Kenny, a fantastic victory yesterday. Context, Queen's Park are a championship side and struggling a wee bit. But to do it that resoundingly, I thought the attitude was incredible, showed hunger, drive, loads of energy. New players showed up fantastically well. That was a really positive performance.
Professional, that's what it was. Ultra professional performance, and dominated the game for 90 minutes plus, and we just went about our business, pinned them into their penalty box, and they just didn't really get out, Stevie. And what a difference a year makes, eh? A year ago today, we lost to the same team, and I was actually very impressed. And I was thinking about this today, and when you look back on some of our performances against teams in the Championship, in the Scottish Cup, or the League Cup over the last few years, we tend to win by the odd goal. Partick Thistle, Morton, Dundee, Queen's Park last season, as I say. To go about our business in that manner was pleasing, to say the least. We gave them a hosing, as you say.
Yeah, we certainly did, Davie. You were in the gantry, as we've said. How much did you enjoy that performance yesterday?
Oh, very much so. And it actually started with the team selection for me. As soon as I saw there was two strikers and two wingers in the team, that I thought this is exactly how you approach a game against a lower league team who are going to try and frustrate you all day. And we played it perfectly, as Kenny's saying. I thought we moved the ball really quickly. We get plenty of players forward. We get the ball in the box. We get players into the box. Our delivery into the area was really good. I thought we played pretty well. As you say, we need to temper it a little bit with the standard opposition. I thought their defending at times was pretty awful. But 8-0, you can't possibly say anything other than that's a pretty good day at the office.
Fantastic day at the office. I thought the quality of the goals were really good, Kenny. Talk about the new boys in a minute, but a word, I think, for the skip. First ever Rangers hat-trick. I had to lean over on the gantry and ask all things Rangers, Davie himself, if that was indeed his first hat-trick. I couldn't remember one before. And it certainly was. 143 goals now for Rangers Football Club. It's quite remarkable. We all know his limitations. He's not first choice anymore, but still remains a key part of what we're trying to do. And yeah, it looked like he had fun and enjoying himself yesterday.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he? And yeah, he took his first goal really well. Second one's a little bit fortunate. The third one he buries with a penalty spot, doesn't he? So, yeah, you've got to turn around and say that he can still do a job at a certain, up to a point. For me, my opinion on James Tavernier isn't going to change. We've discussed him over and over and over. And I think we need a much younger and fresher right back these days. But at the same time, you've got to turn around and say that he's going to be important in the running. His experience in the running is going to help. His attacking play is going to help us. And he will have a genuine part to play, I would imagine, in this what we're calling a title race now, isn't it? So if he can produce in the attacking positions that he can get himself into, because he delivers a mean ball, he can hit a free kick, his corner kicks like yesterday were immense as well. So yeah, he's got a major part to play in this running, mate. So fair play to him yesterday, and as you say, he did look as if he was enjoying himself out there. So delighted for him to get his hat-trick, because I was really surprised when I heard that as well, that he had never scored a hat-trick for us, because to have 140 odd goals from right back is insane. But to have never got the hat trick in the one game was news to me, because I just presumed he had. So fair play. Davie,
James Tavernier, we've spoke about him over and over and over again, but it would be a miss just to not talk about a hat trick for the captain.
Absolutely. He's now Rangers' top scorer of the 21st century, which is quite an incredible statistic. And I don't care about how many penalties he's taking. No doubt somebody will mention it. Who cares? They're still goals. They count the same as every other goal does. As you say, 143 goals, which is more than Chris Boyd, who was our top scorer this century before that. I totally agree with Kenny. I think that he will be managed between now and the rest of the season. I think some of the bigger games he's less likely to play in. I thought it was interesting actually yesterday. Danny Rule mentioned that he actually wasn't meant to be playing yesterday. Max Aarons pulled out, didn't he, in the morning, and that was why Tavernier started at all, which suggested to me that Tavernier lined up for Wednesday night, because I don't think he's going to play him twice a week. But he's been a tremendous servant to the club. He's going to end up in the top 10 appearance numbers of all time for Rangers by the time this season's over, if he plays a fair number of games between now and the end of the season. He's going to have something like 560 appearances. He's going to have 140 odd, who knows, maybe 150 goals. Those are numbers that are absolutely crazy. They're crazy for anybody. They're absolutely insane for a right back. It's the number of trophies that obviously people keep bringing up. But if we had 6 or 7 James Taverniers in the last 10 years instead of just one of them, I'm sure we'd have won more trophies than we have.
My biggest wish for James Tavernier, and I'll say this with the greatest respect, because I do have the greatest respect to him, I hope he leaves at the end of the season a double winner. I really do. I think it's the right time for everyone. He's been a fantastic servant. Never mind a testimonial. Let's get him some trophies. And let's try and make sure that he leaves as a winner, because his achievements, goal-wise, stat-wise and everything else, deserves more than what he's won. And what he's won hasn't been enough, right? He's been captain of the club and everything. We all know that. Let's not try and sugarcoat it. We haven't won enough. But I would love for him to be able to leave as a winner, because I think he deserves it. So that's basically where we are with James Tavernier. We all know limitations. Kenny used that word. I think that's really fair. But I'm never going to see a guy that scores as many goals as James Tavernier. And that's all credit to him. He was he really was. He done well. Let's move on slightly. New signings, boys. Let's talk about the new signings. Chukwani, Big Tochi in midfield. I googled him today and it said that 80% of the world is covered by water and the other 20% is covered by him. I thought he was utterly tremendous yesterday. And he really caught my eye. And I just thought to myself, this boy's the real deal here. Ball winning. He just looked effortless. He almost looked completely in control of what he was doing. Just went and got the ball, fetched it all the time, popped it off to somebody else. Is a real goal threat, as we've seen. Unlucky not to have 2. He was just a wee flick away from getting the first one. But he scored an excellent first goal for us. And genuinely, I thought he was great. Now, we will talk about the other signings, but it looks like we've had a really bang-on January, which for months we talked about. And it's early days. You know, the big tests are going to be during the week and things like that. But Kenny, I think this boy looks cracking. I really do. He's shown up well away at Hibs. He showed up well yesterday. I'm encouraged a lot. And I think that what we have is a ready-made replacement for Nico Raskin. And that to me is exciting, because let's realistically think Nico goes to the World Cup and stuff in the summer. I think Nico's going to move on. And that probably maximises our value as well. That would be the dream outcome. Tochi's sitting there waiting to come in, Kenny.
Yeah, listen, he's here, forget waiting to come in. He's here right now, and he's going to be on the likes of yesterday's performance. He's going to be a first pick for the manager. He really is. I was like you. I thought he was head and shoulders above anybody yesterday. I thought he was a man of the match for me yesterday. Absolutely tremendous. He just stood there with a wee brush, sweeping everything up and passing it on. And it was the amount of links that he was playing. It was 1-2s here and just driving forward. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. Won every single second ball in the middle of the park, I think, for 90 minutes. He was just absolutely outstanding. And we've won a watch there. You know, when you look at the stature, the physique, the way he's imposing in the middle of the park, I think an awful lot of teams, players in our league are going to struggle with the sheer physical stature he's got, Stevie. He's really, and again, it's something that I've maybe not heard too many people say, but see, over 3 or 4 yards, he's rapid. Just over that 3 or 4 yards, just bump and take that away. He's got an amazing way of just sticking his foot in and taking the ball off of people. Again, we'll need to temper that with the opposition he was playing yesterday, so we don't want to get too carried away and need to keep our feet on the ground and such. But I'll tell you right now, for me, he is going to be vital in this running, because that's where games are won and lost most of the time, Stevie, is in the middle of the park. And with him, Nico, Dio, and Connor Barron still to come in, along with whoever we're going to play as a number 10, we have a fine midfield at this minute in time. They're all playing well and are starting to play well at the right time, Stevie.
Yeah, who's thanks to Kimberly Neal, a good friend of the show, who's gifted 10 for Lads of the Dream Rangers podcast memberships to the show. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Davie, you've seen it live. We rattled in 8 goals, and you know there was a lot of impressive performances, but he stuck out like a sore thumb to me. I thought genuinely he was terrific. Context, we all know it, given the team, etc., etc., etc. But we've also watched midfielders join our football club and things pass them by, no matter the team that they were playing. We know what happened a year ago. You know, and I think you can rightly say, yeah, it's Queen's Park, no disrespect to them, but at the same time, you need to beat what's in front of you. And I thought his application, his attitude, his work rate, power, engine, everything was absolutely terrific.
Yeah, I think most of us talk about his size and his physicality and stuff like that, but he actually didn't launch himself into attack all day. He won the ball without having to do that, which I think is a sign of a really good player. He seems to be able to anticipate where the ball's going to be and just go and snuff the danger out before the danger even starts, which I think is the sign of a right good player. And his arrival's been really well timed as well, because our main ball winner was obviously Connor Barron in the weeks before he joined, and then he's out injured. I think he's back in about 4 weeks or thereabouts. So until he's back, I don't think there's any doubt that the main ball winner on the team should be him. And then we've got a tremendous choice of 4 really good midfield players. I must admit, I would probably play 3 of the 4 rather than 2 of the 4 with a 10 in some of the games that are coming up. But he does look a player. Obviously, a bigger test on Wednesday night, a bigger test next Sunday. But I'm pretty confident that he'll be able to handle that. He certainly looks like a player that's going to go far in a Rangers shirt, I think.
Yeah, we'll talk about obviously Wednesday and the weekend and things coming up. Somebody else wanted to highlight Ryan Naderi. I liked him immediately, said it during the week. I think he's going to be great. Commented on it on the Rangers Review. Plays as last man, plays as a 9. Davie, we saw him during the week. He probably should have scored in that game. He did get 2 yesterday, headers, both at the back post. He had 2 runs at the front post. He puts just wide, leads the line, presses really well. I like him. I like him genuinely. Straight away, looked at him. I give it the customary 10 minutes before I make up my mind on the new boys and stuff like that. Davie, will stick with you for this one. Kenny, obviously, will come to you next, mate. Just jump in after Davie. But Ryan Naderi, he looked honestly terrific. I start him Wednesday. I start him Sunday. In fact, he starts here on in for me. I honestly think he's absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, we all wanted a striker to come in and hit the ground running. and I just think he looks natural. Everything about him, I'm excited. I really am. And I'm grumpy, Davie. You know me, mate.
Oh,
apart from when there's feathers going everywhere, that was quite amusing. But I am genuinely hard to impress. But that was excellent.
Oh, hey, you're almost as grumpy as I am, so don't worry about it. For me, the bottom line is in December and into the January window, we went on and on and on about we will not win the title unless we can bring in a goal scorer. We won't win it. And then what happens right at the end of the transfer window, we bring in a guy, he's only played, a game and a half so far, and you can see already he's got all the natural striker instincts that Chermiti doesn't have. First thing he wants to do is he wants to get into the penalty box. First thing he wants to do is be between the sticks, get in the end of crosses. He wants to score. He wants to make a difference. Yes, he can do the stuff outside the box, but it was the stuff inside the box that we were crying out for. 2 goals yesterday, 2 headers at the back post when he basically, well, the first one was a bit unchallenged, to be fair. The second one, he just came rampaging into the box and there was no way anybody else was going to win the crosses other than him. I'm with you. And for me, he's one of the first names in the team sheet on Wednesday night. I think we've timed it perfectly, bringing a goal scorer into the squad. This is the time of the season that every goal is going to be really vital. This is a game on Wednesday when we're playing a team that's hardly conceded a goal at home for months. He's got to play, and I'm really excited to see him playing in the bigger games, actually.
Yeah, I totally agree with the two of you here. What I like about him is he leads the press really, really well. That surprised me how, because he's only 22, he's a young lad. He's come in and he's leading the press. He's kicking it off time and time again. He plays between the posts when we get in, when we're attacking, which is exactly what you want to see your number 9 doing, isn't it? As you said, Stevie, 2 efforts at the back stick, 2 efforts at the front post. I love that when a striker goes near post. We've not had that for a long, long time. Miovski's done it once or twice this season, and that's been it. But somebody that naturally has that feel for where the ball is going, where the cross is going to go, is exactly what we've been crying out for a long, long time, because we have missed that. Whether you look on this season and look back previous seasons, even boys like Morelos or Cyril Dessers, they weren't naturally desperate to get into the 6-yard box and score goals. That's the difference for this kid. I think that he's got just an absolute hunger to get in between the posts and finish the move off. And for me, I mean, I've seen an awful lot of people compare him to others, and I'm not going to do that. But what the best kind of compliment I could give him at this minute is that he has walked in here and he looks as natural as you can be. And for a young boy coming from the 3rd division, I know Hansa Rostock are a big club. You know, they're actually quite a big club. They're playing 25,000 people every week. But to turn up in a new country, young boy, and just take to it so quickly and so easily, I can't praise the boy enough. And I don't know if you boys seen his interview after I watched the game back, and his interview on Premier Sports when he was given the man of the match, and he was standing there with Tavernier, James Tavernier, and he turned around and said, no, I'll be giving this to James Tavernier. He says he get 3 goals and he assisted me for 1. He was better than me. I don't deserve this. And you're like, well, he's humble as well. It's quite incredible how naturally, even in front of the camera, was. So, yeah, can't praise the kid enough. But listen, we have said this before about our signings, and we had to get this right. And by the looks of things, we're on our way.
One of the big things that impressed me yesterday, and here's where it gets a wee bit negative, but also I'll balance it out by being positive. We watched last midweek a strike force, a front 4 of Mikey Moore, Tello Asgard, Jerry Gassama, and Bojan Majowski. The movement was very limited. We were very stagnant at times. Mikey Moore was the only one with energy. He was the only one with the hunger. He was the only one with the urgency. And I think that he was the only one really in the 4 that you could have watched and said, great. I don't think Miovski done well enough. I don't think Tello Asgard has done well enough, period. And I think Jerry Gassama is a great player. on the left, on the right, not sure. But I looked at yesterday and I looked at midweek when they came on, the changes that were made. And this is where it becomes difficult because Oliver Antman hasn't played a big team yet and played well. But his last couple of performances, he's looked great. He looks energetic. He looks tricky. He looks urgent like Mikey Moore does. Then you look on the other side, Scov Olsen is a bundle of talent. We know he's going to be good. He has that quality movement and things yesterday. It was terrific. And then in your 10, Mikey Moore, urgency, everything. All of a sudden, with Naderi in 9, we've got a pressing machine. We've got a team that looks urgent. We've got a team that are playing it well. Romans behind them on the left has added such a big dynamic to the team. That's the strike force for me. That's how we go on Wednesday night. And look, context, I get it. We start to play a big game and it was this, it was that. You play the guys that are in form. You play the guys that looks hungry. I watched Telo Asgard and I watched Chermiti and I watched Kasama and I watched Majowski. There's very little threat from anyone out with Kasama. Chermiti will get the odd goal, but he's not a goal scorer. Majowski will score goals, but he needs the feed of others. So there's very little being created for him. And I'm sorry, but Telo Asgard, I said it when people were talking about him playing well and things like that. I just don't think he's got it. I think he's slow. I think he's very passive. And I think that he's just not good. I'm trying not to be too negative. I don't think he'll make it at Rangers unless he suddenly clicks. And we said it about Ollie Antman, then all of a sudden, he's coming on a game. So it's really difficult to say that he might not make it because that's maybe not fair. But at this moment in time, I don't think he's good enough to be starting. He doesn't have the urgency for me that the boys yesterday showed. I need that urgency. I need the press. I need that. So that's how I would go this week. I think that you play to your strengths. You play with the guys that have got the jersey. You play with the guys that have got that intensity. And I think those guys do. The ones I mentioned, I'm not sure do. Could you switch and match one or two? Could you change it up? Yeah, but I think the way they played last Wednesday starting, I don't think they have it. I think we got better when the subs came on. Yesterday, I thought we got it spot on. A lot to kind of unpack in there, Kenny. Davie, jump in as well, mate. But that's how I would be going compared to what we've seen. And I just think the addition of new boys, Ollie Antman coming in, etc., I think we're much better placed now to go and attack and score goals. Where we, in recent weeks, we've all said that front line wasn't going to do it. That's just my kind of broader thoughts. I've rambled on a wee bit. I'm not meaning to. I'm just trying to explain myself. I don't want people to think I'm coming in slating players. I'm trying to explain how I've saw the difference in urgency, the difference in our press, the difference in our forward line.
Yeah, I understand. The difference here is that if you're playing with a number 10 and 2 wide and a number 9, then for me, Mikey Moore goes in as a 10. Absolutely not Telo Asgard. It is important to understand that Telo Asgard did have that rich vein of form for a month or so where he was scoring goals and he's contributed. And he has contributed. Has he done enough? Well, it's open to debate. I don't personally think so. Scov Olsen and the right-hand side's a kind of stick on for me. At this minute in time, Naderi's got the number 9 shirt. I totally agree. I think he's come in and shown instantly what we've been missing. And it is that leading the press and getting between the posts. It is that simple. He is a natural goal scorer. He's a natural number 9. The choice there on the left-hand side is where the debate will come, whether it's Cherry Gassama or Oliver Antman. Personally, I would probably be inclined to turn around and say, and it's not just to agree with you, Stevie, but I would probably be giving it to Oliver Antman because he'll be fresher. I think Jerry Gassama has played a huge amount of minutes from the start of the season. I think it was Bar Butland. I think he's played more minutes than anybody else, if I remember right. So it might just be, he's a young boy, Stevie. He might just be tired and needing a bit of a break. But the key to all this is when you actually look at the shape. There's been a slight change of shape since Two Romans has come in, and it's almost like that 4-2-2-2 that you see in Europe a lot. And it is quite like that. And he is coming inside or he's overlapping, and it's allowing that movement up front. And interesting to see that he linked really well with Mikey Moore at times the other night, and he linked really well with Oliver Antman yesterday. So it's just the link-up play has just went up a huge notch since these boys have come in. But I agree with you that it's the tempo that you want to see getting played that is vital. It's if we can play at a tempo. Motherwell are the prime example. When we played them on Wednesday, they'll want to play. They want to play football. So our job when we go over there for a team that's going to get the ball on the deck and ping it about is to break that up. That's what we need to do. So that, the defence starts at the front line. So that's where I would be looking at. What you've said is pretty much where I would probably go in terms of starting on Wednesday night. And it's for the energy. It's the fact that Skov Olsen is coming back and forward. I don't know if you boys noticed that as well. When Tavernier was coming forward, he was actually sitting. He was coming in and deeper and allowing Tav to get there. It's the same with two Romans, and that's the kind of thing that I really liked about what we were doing yesterday. Is that there's a slight change of shape there, and the energy up front was a massive part of it, I think.
My top one's worth would be that I just do not see where Asgard fits in anymore. If I'm honest about it, I'm trying not to be Mr. Negative number 2, but if we want to play with a number 10 and just two screening midfield players, then for me, Mikey Moore is the obvious player to play in the number 10 role and give him a free role. I think when Asgard plays as a 10, he doesn't play close enough to the centre forward, and it leaves a great big gap between him and where the striker is. I think if we're going to play with a 10, we've got to have somebody whose first instinct is to get up in support of the striker. And I don't see that being Asgard. I think he wants too many touches in the ball. He wants to be too safe. For me, Moore plays there. I think there'll be... I'll go back to the game at New Year, actually. We played Asgard as a 10 in the first half, and we got overrun at Celtic Park. We were quite lucky to be just one down at half-time. And he changed at half-time. He brought Diomande on, and he sort of stiffened the midfield up. And it worked a treat. And I can see that kind of midfield playing occasionally, maybe at Fir Park, maybe on Sunday against Hearts. One that's got Raskin, Chikwani and Diomande all in it for solidity. And when you play like that, for me, the three positions other than that have to pick themselves, which is it has to be Moore, it has to be Skov Olsen, and it has to be Nadiri. Because it's your best guy on the left, your best guy on the right, and your best guy through the middle. But there's 13 league games to go. Hopefully 3 Scottish Cup ties. They'll all get their chance because there's going to be injuries, there's going to be suspensions, there's going to be folk on form and off form. I think it was great the way Ant-Man's put himself into contention. I thought in the left wing yesterday he was terrific, and then he moved to the right wing in the second half, and he was just as good there. So I think we've got all kinds of options, but the one option I don't see as being worth using is actually Asgard.
Yeah, he certainly needs to play his way back in. Boys, small draw in the quarterfinals in the next round. Went from a big Glasgow club to a little one, but it's Celtic up next. All joking aside, of course, Celtic champions of the country. We know Martin O'Neill has got them organised. They were lucky on Saturday. Dundee, by the way, Stephen Presley, I think, deserves huge credit. He's went from a laughing figure to turning Dundee into quite a side. So reluctant credit to him. But in all fairness, good credit to him. Celtic, to me, are in a bit of a transition. Obviously, there's a lot of ill feeling and stuff like that. Martin O'Neill's a very safe pair of hands. We know that. We absolutely know that. And he's a good manager. So I respect that. I don't care about being super staunch and trying to say anything else. But I'll tell you what, gentlemen, in the next 4 weeks, we have the chance yet again, sliding doors moments, etc. Go and win these games and be top of the league by the end of the week. And then we've got a month of the month where we can. This is, as I tried to talk about this morning. Rangers don't need to worry about anybody else now, Kenny. This is all in Rangers' own hands. And in the next few weeks, we could set ourselves up on a real chase for a double, which would be the best double I've ever seen, considering we were 9 games in or whatever it was. And this is a huge chance for us. And it's one that we have to all galvanise behind. I want the players to be sitting in that dressing room, getting their head round the fact that in 5-6 days time, we could be top of the league. And not only should they be getting their head around that, they should be going to hunt it properly. Wednesday night's a huge game. Motherwell are a good side, but they're not Barcelona. I don't want us building it up in our head. We respect them. They're a very good side to play good football. They also make mistakes at that. Go and press them. Go and hunt this. Let's go and show the attitude we did show yesterday. Go and get the goal. Go and win the game. And then Sunday, full house, Ibrox against Hearts. We can properly show them and get that atmosphere. I just think that this is such an opportunity. It sets us up. We've got no midweek games. Rule can get them on the training ground. The competition for places is going to be high. We're allowed to be happy with the form the last couple of games, even if we're grounded. But, this is a big one for us. This will show me if we really are ready. Hibs was a disappointment. Context, maybe knackered after Porto, understandable. But this is such a big chance. And that would set us up a couple of league games and then a Celtic doubleheader. And it's not going to be easy. It's really not going to be easy. But this is it. This is a time for Rangers now. We could set ourselves up. And what a blockbuster month it's going to be, boys. This
is where top clubs come to the fore, Stevie. Top teams do it at this point in the season. This is where it means everything. The running is here. Now, there's still 3 months left. Don't get me wrong. There's still 14 league games to go, is it? And we have a huge job on. And nobody's disputing that to get this over the line. But I'm with you on that with Motherwell. Motherwell are a cracking side and they're in a rich vein of form at this minute in time. But in my opinion, they're the 4th best team in the country at the moment because they're sitting 4th. And we are the team over the last 17 league games that are miles in front of everybody else. So they're actually, in general, coming up against the best team in the country on form at this minute in time. So we shouldn't put too much on how well Motherwell are playing. I genuinely believe, as I said it the other night, that if we turn up and play our game, then we should be good enough to go and beat Motherwell, no matter how well they're playing. And we're Rangers, for goodness sake. So go and do it. Go and do the business and get it done. That would set us up, if we can do that, for a massive game at the weekend against Hearts. That takes care of itself. I fancy us in that game. Livy away, yep, tough gig, another tough gig. We know that. However, the back-to-back, the double-header, what a way. And this works both ways. So before anybody, on the other side of the city is watching this, what an opportunity to bury their season in the space of a week by turning around and getting the gap between us in the league. If we can do what we're trying to set out to do, starting on Wednesday, and then take them out the Scottish Cup, the pressure on them would be absolutely monumental. And I just don't see them recovering from that, to be honest, if we were to do that. However, they'll be thinking exactly the same thing. What an opportunity to bury them in a road backyard twice in a week. That's the way they'll see it. So it is one of those things that it's probably the most excited when you actually consider the run of fixtures we've got this month, and you see the run of fixtures that Hearts and Motherwell and Celtic have got over the next few weeks. This is massive. It is such a massive opportunity for us. You're spot on in what you've said in terms of we don't need to worry about anybody else. This is all in our hands. The fact that we've got a double header at home against Celtic, we should be taking advantage of that. That's where I would look at it. I think we're playing better than them. I think there's 3 weeks still to go before the first game. But if we can maintain this form, by the 9th of March, by the time that game's finished, we could be on the cusp of something absolutely huge. And bring it on. I've not been this excited about a run in years, I've got to say. And it's just because I didn't see it coming. But more importantly, I think we are hitting a vein of form at this minute in time where you look at defensively, we're really solid. Chukwue's come in the midfield and added steel and a bit of dynamism in there, a bit of drive. You look at the striker and the Skov Olsen, both incredibly decent signings, absolutely fantastic signings. And all of a sudden, you look at us and compare our squad to everybody else's at the moment, and I would say we've actually got 2 for every position at least. And we've got a number of players up front that we can swap in different areas. And we have got so many options that it is going to make it really difficult for teams to kind of figure out what we're going to do, because we can change that in game so often. So it is really exciting stuff for me. And I've got to say that fair play to Danny Rule for doing this, because he's clearly got an eye for a player, and he's obviously tactically very, very aware. And to get us into this position where I am excited as I am, I didn't see that coming, mate. So fair play to him.
What I'll say is, I joined this podcast just before the Queen's Park game last year, and I think I had only been on it a couple of times, and the season was over. We this time last year on February the 9th, when we lost to Queen's Park, the season was done. We had absolutely nothing to look forward to. As Kenny said earlier on, fast forward 12 months, this is exactly the position every Rangers supporter must be. If you can't get excited about this, then you're going to do something else. And this is exactly why the owners pushed the boat out in January, because they hoped we were going to get into this position, and they wanted to give the head coach the best possible chance of making all our dreams come true. Motherwell won't be easy on Wednesday. I totally agree that they aren't as good a team as we are. They haven't as good a players as we've got. But they're a pretty good opponent. I thought they were really unlucky not to take a point at Ibrox around about Christmas time. They haven't conceded a goal at Fir Park since October, which is an absolutely bonkers stat. They'll take a bit of beating, but I think we've got the players to do it. Folk have been saying all season that Hearts' bubble will burst. I don't know if it will, but if it is going to burst, Ibrox is the place that it will burst, I think. I'm also confident for Sunday. And then if you talk about this double header, I just want to go into the Celtic League game top of the league. I want to go in with an advantage over them getting into that game. Home advantage, all the pressure on them. And as for the cup tie, it was the draw I wanted. I was saying all day yesterday, I really wanted us to draw Celtic in the quarterfinals, because we're not going to win the cup unless we beat them. And our best chance of beating them is at home. Our best chance of beating them is at Ibrox. No doubt we'll get all the crap in the media over the next few weeks about trying to give them the whole Broomloan stand and give them hundreds of tickets and stuff like that. I want Rangers to get every advantage they can possibly get in that game, and that means as few Celtic supporters in there as possible. I hope the club do what Aberdeen did to us in the Scottish Cup a few years ago and basically say we're not increasing the allocation for security reasons, and we ended up just having to suck it up. But am I super confident that we'll win all these games? I'm not sure, but we're in a bloody good place. This is the best place Rangers have been in for a long time. The momentum's with us. With the team in form, we've got players who are all coming onto a game at the same time. We've got players coming back for injury. It's time to go for it. And I think that the head coach sees that. When he talked yesterday about we've not done anything yet and we've still got all in front of us and we've still got it all to do, that's absolute music to my ears. I think that's brilliant. Yeah, he gets it. And I think it's going to be an exciting next few weeks. And I think we're the team to beat in the moment, actually.
Oof. This is kind of exciting. Almost smiled. I'll end it on this. Danny Rule, when asked about what he achieved this season, stated, we've achieved absolutely nothing, Kenny. He is obviously my best friend, as you well know, but this guy gets it. And he's been hugely impressive. We'll not hold on to him for too long if he does what we all hope he does. I don't care if he goes on to Bayern Munich or whoever he goes on to, as long as he delivers for Rangers and sets us up. He's been brilliant so far. Are we seeing him get us to peak and hit form at the right time? I would bloody love to think so. 13 goals in 2 games should really do much positivity for the mindset and everything else. But that was undoubtedly the best answer. And he gets it. He gets it very, very well. He deals with things very well. You've seen him being asked about Tav contract, Suter contract, Bailey Rice contract. It's just really dealt with really well. He doesn't give you anything unless he wants to tell you. Very good on the signing rumours and everything on January, kept it grounded. We got the 3 or 4 in. He said he didn't want to say 4, but definitely 3. And we got the 4. And I just think he's been great. I thought that was a perfect answer. We have achieved nothing. They've built up our hopes. Now's the time to go and grab it. And I think he understands that even more.
Oh, he's spot on, because we're second. We're second in the league at this minute in time. So we have achieved nothing. What we've managed to do is get ourselves into a position where we can all get excited and dare to dream about what is there at the end of the rainbow for us, effectively. If we can kick on and maintaining the form and bringing the new signings in and getting them to add to their squad, and it's a more compact squad. There's 6 away, there's 4 in, so it's a tighter knitted squad, if you like. And you've got a scenario where he turned around and said at the start of the week after the Hibs game that he had turned around and was blunt about it, and he said, we've been training on attacking the penalty box all week, because there's games when we don't do it right, and it's as simple as that. So we're nowhere near the finished article. We are not stupid enough to presume we are, and neither is he. And that's where I love the way he answers that kind of question, where it was an instant, and some of these things can get lost in translation, where, he's praising, and it was a very interesting way he put it, where I think it was Emma Dodds had turned around and said, are you something about how what you've achieved at Rangers? And he said, we've achieved nothing. It's not he, it was we. And I love that about him as well. Anytime you listen to him, it's all about him, his staff, the people behind the scenes, and the squad. It's a we thing. It's a together thing. And how he's managed to get that situation that we find ourselves in, where when you see that squad of players, even at the end of the game yesterday, guys who weren't on the park, everybody's beaming smiles, and it's wonderful to see that they are together in this. And what he's managed to do is get us into that position where we can do special things this season. And I've already said it to you, Stevie. If we don't, I am very, very confident that this team's going to kick on in a massive way next season. We've got 5. The defence is going to need sorted for next season because of the amount of loans we have and stuff like that. That'll take time to bed in. We'll get this, but he'll have a pre-season under his belt next season as well. So I actually, for all that I think we're going places this season, I expect us to be even better again next season, Stevie. And I can only, as I say, give him the ultimate praise and say, for a guy here personally that wasn't convinced by bringing this guy in, he's made me feel like a right knob, because it shows you what I know about football, because I just was not convinced with that at all. I just thought a couple of years at Sheffield Wednesday, I don't think that's a breeding ground for coming up to Glasgow. And by God, has he got it. He got it quicker than, I think it just, perhaps with the exception of Gerrard, where Gerrard got it instantly right away because of the Liverpool connection and it being a football city. This man has got this as quickly as Gerrard did. And that's the praise that I can, the highest praise I can give him, that he has got this football club, got Scottish football understanding the nuances of it. And the prime example was yesterday with that Emma Dodge question and the way that he answered it for me. It's not a he thing, it's a we thing. So, yeah, I've got nothing but gratitude and plaudits for the guy. He's been phenomenal for us. He really has.
Davie, were you impressed how Danny Rowe handled it yesterday?
Yeah, again, I think it's the question is the word to use there. He's put very few feet wrong since he started. Let's be honest. The first thing he had to do was organise a team that was completely disorganised and get results out of them, and he done it. Then he's got expectation to deal with once he starts getting close to the top of the league. He's managing that. And he had a squad that he knew wasn't good enough and he had to strengthen it. And he's done that. I think he's got a togetherness in the group. He's got a hunger in the group. I think the players all have bought into what he's doing. I think he's done a terrific job. Will he beat Rangers in 3 or 4 years' time? Probably not. But you know what? See if he's got a few medals and a few trophies along the way, then he'll go with everyone's thanks. Just like we knew Gerrard would go eventually as well. I think the other person to mention in all this has to be Andrew Kavanagh, though. He made him and his board made an absolute mess last summer. He said, remember when he said when they sacked Russell Martin, it was time for him to own it. I think that is exactly what the ownership of the club have done. They have owned the mistakes they made, and they are putting them right slowly but surely. The investment in January was way beyond financially what I was expecting it to be. Best part of £15 million is absolutely unprecedented spending at this time of the season when there's not a great deal of income coming in. So the board, the head coach, the team all seem to be aligned, and a club like that, they're the ones that have got the best chance of success. I'm not saying I'm not going to predict here we're going to win the double or anything, but what I will say is we're in a position that I couldn't have only dreamed of last October, and I'll say it again. I think right now with the momentum we've got, we are the team the rest of them are probably fearing.
Yeah, what I will say on Andrew Kavanagh, it's one of the comments here. Headkeeper does say one of the biggest things he did was getting rid of Stewart and Thelwell. How the team and how things have changed since that moment, that's for sure. I think we'll end it there, boys. An excellent podcast, full of positivity. Who would have thought it, Kenny? It's things have changed. Let's hope it continues, because this is much better than how we started the season, that's for sure.
It's phenomenal, mate. When you sit there and you look at the way that we're playing, and we've had some first half away at Celtic Park's wasn't what you were expecting. Hibs away wasn't what you were expecting. We're going to have bumps in the road. We're going to have games where we just don't perform to the levels we really want to see them do. But it's our job as supporters at Ibrox, so that I don't go away from home, mate. I don't do that. I know Davie doesn't either. But I don't go to away games for my own personal reasons. But the boys that go away give the backing for 90 minutes phenomenal. They are incredible. It's our job at Ibrox to do the same. Give them every single bit of backing, because Ibrox, when it's united, Rangers is when it's united. It's an unstoppable force, mate. We've seen it not that long ago in the Europa League, where it didn't matter who we were playing. We all knew. As soon as we got that second half performance against Dortmund, I think all of us in our heads were, we're going to do that. We can do this. And if it wasn't for Ibrox, let's not kid ourselves. There was teams we were playing far better than us, and it was us that got that team over the line, and we can do it again. And it's up to us to do that. And that's where this is what's exciting me. I said it to you last week. I'm up in the gantry with you on Sunday, but I'm looking forward to this, because regardless of what happens tomorrow night with Hearts and Wednesday night with us, that is going to be phenomenal, because we are going to go after them as a club. I think support players, everybody connected. And I can't wait for it, mate. It's exciting. It really is an exciting running. And who'd have thunk it? Because I didn't think we would have found ourselves in this situation.
Who's on the gantry on Wednesday? The answer to that is nobody, because it's an away game. So it is Kenny and I on Sunday. Now, Kenny somewhat played a blinder here, and I'm going to praise him, because Kenny gave up the gantry for the Celtic home game, but said, I'll have the cup if we get them in the cup. So Kenny's getting Hearts on Sunday with me, and then he's getting Celtic in the cup with me. So Kenny, you played that fantastically well. Davie, I doubt that we'll be have another feather moment like we did yesterday, but gantry's going to be exciting. I've yet to see Rangers win anything from a gantry viewpoint. I would absolutely love to do it. Let's hope this continues, because great show. Really appreciate it, mate. Thank you as ever.
Oh, fantastic. As I said to you, it's just after my first anniversary on this podcast, and I think this is the most positive show I've been on in all that time. It's been great. And it's been a positive day for me as well. I've got my Ibrox Bar Tenerife t-shirt on because I booked another holiday in Tenerife today. So I just thought I'd let you know that as well. No, apart from that, I've decided I didn't want to do the gantry this week. I want to sit beside my son for the game on Sunday against Hearts, and I want to celebrate Rangers going top of the league with him. I've decided I want to do that this week. But I'm looking forward to being on the gantry a few times between now and the end of the season, and watching top of the table Rangers deal with all comers as title number 56 goes ever closer.
Wow, that would be nice. Ladies and gentlemen, huge thanks to everybody that's joined us. Thousands of people watching on Monday night is always such a thrill. So thank you so much. If you haven't, please like and subscribe on YouTube. Already hunting down 12,500 subs, and we really, really appreciate that. So please get behind the podcast. We would love that as well. If you want to become a member, you can do so on the YouTube membership page as well. That would be absolutely brilliant. Or you can also just scan the QR code, which I've just added, which is up there, up over there, behind my head. So if you want to join, please do that. That helps the podcast grow. Thank you for all the comments and everything tonight. Huge thanks to our sponsors, Rhino Express, Clyview Fire Protection and Joinery, Afro Industrial Solutions, CSD Air Conditioning, Candide, our very own Amrit's Feather Ice Cream Bar. We absolutely love the boys. Thank you so much for all that. And our Sunday sponsor, Local Dart Shop Online. Thanks to our partners, Black Rooster and Heart of Gold. Also, let's keep the positivity going, Rangers. This is the time to really go and flex your muscles and show your wealth. And we would absolutely love it if you did. Everybody have a great Monday, Tuesday, roll on Wednesday. We'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.
The Four Lads podcast is sponsored by Rhino Express, Clyview Joinery, Afro Industrial Solutions Limited, and CSD Air Conditioning, in partnership with Black Rooster and Art of Gold. Thank you for listening to or watching the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show.